Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 535 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine. 17 Ukrainian drones attack a logistics base of Russian troops near Yevpatoria in occupied Crimea on Saturday night, reports Ukrainska Pravda. The security service of Ukraine, which is behind the attack, informed about dozens of Russian military personnel being killed or injured as a result of the attack. The security service of Ukraine hit a campus of the occupiers' parking lots and gas stations. The extent of the damage is being determined. The Russian Ministry of Defense claimed that Crimea was attacked by 20 drones. The Russians claimed that no one was injured and there was no destruction. Yesterday morning, explosions were heard for the second time in a day in the vicinity of the Crimean bridge. The traffic on the bridge had been blocked, and the Russians reported that air defense was operating. The Defense Ministry of Russia claimed that they downed an S-200 air defense missile launched by Ukraine. According to them, the missile was modified to strike the bridge. A lot of smoke was reported near the bridge, which Russian authorities claimed to be a smoke screen. Ukrainian forces have liberated certain territories on the Tavria front in the country's south, reports Hromadske. According to the commander of the Tavria group of troops, Alexander Tarnavsky, over the past day, 12th of August, the Russian losses amounted to 242 people, 80 of them dead, 160 wounded, and 2 prisoners. 7 units of Russian military equipment were destroyed, in particular 1 tank, 2 armored personnel carriers, 2 artillery systems and mortars, 1 car and 1 unit of special equipment. 3 ammunition depots were also destroyed. The New York Times notes that the armed forces of Ukraine have achieved tactically significant progress in the ongoing counteroffensive on 2 fronts, reports Ukrainska Pravda. The publication says Ukrainian troops advanced 10 to 12 miles along 2 main lines of attack in Kyiv's quest to reach the southern coast and cut the Russian supply lines. In the ground war, the Ukrainians are moving south on 2 main fronts through the eastern village of Staromayorske to Russian-occupied Berdyansk and further west to Russian-occupied Melitopol. The amount of territory seized, 10 to 12 miles on both vectors of attack, while relatively small, is important in that it is compelling Moscow to divert forces from other parts of the front line, military analysts say. At the same time, the publication notes that Russian troops are conducting their own offensive operations in northern Ukraine around the city of Kupiansk. By forcing Ukraine to defend there, military analysts say Russia is most likely trying to distract Ukrainian forces from other areas where they are on offensive. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the highlights from Ukraine and truths about Russia's invasion. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky informed that Azerbaijan is ready to provide a new humanitarian support package including demining equipment. Ukraine needs equipment from partners, and it is very crucial to create a production base in Ukraine as well. He stressed that demining should be completed not in decades, but in years. In total, as of now, 174 square kilometers of our country are potentially dangerous due to mines and unexploded ammunition. Every day, our specialists detect hundreds of explosive objects, and the more we have demining machines, the more special drones we have for demining, the more actively we would be able to restore security, said the president. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We are a commercial initiative of just 2 people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.